Hello, let's create custom widgets for our Syslog and Trap messages. So as you may know, a few years ago, SolarWinds decided to move from Syslog Viewer and Trap Viewer to Log Viewer and Log Analyzer modules. And due to this change, we actually lost some of the built-in widgets for our dashboards, our views. So I have prepared for you a few nice widgets that you can use in your system. So here at the top, you have user links and hyperlinks for log viewer or log analyzer modules. Next, you have selected syslog counter, and this one includes a counter for few selected filtered messages like flapping or configured from console, login success, login failed. You can of course add more if you'd like. Next, we have syslog counter, and this is a counter for each individual severity of syslog. And next we have last 300 traps linked down and up. That means that those traps are actually filtered by those two strings. And you can see here that we have a message of the trap as well as the log time. And this is very important because we have a correlation to the actual interface that we are monitoring using SNMP. So for example, Gigabit Ethernet 1 is being monitored by SolarWinds, and we can see that it is correlated with this trap message. So this is a very nice correlation. And if we are not monitoring some interface that is flapping, then you will see not monitored information. And you can accordingly, for example, add this interface to the monitoring. And you also can use a search function. So for example, I can take Gigabit Ethernet 1, and you can see that all of the trap messages are filtered using this string. And what does it mean, last 300 traps? It means that there is no date time filter. So any 300 trap messages that will be found in the retention in the database will be visible here. So that's quite nice. However, if you would have any kind of performance issues, then you would need to apply a filter, for example, last 30 days. And we have the same for last 300 syslog messages, but for this widget, it is simply not being filtered by any string. So you can see all the syslog messages. And as you can see here, we have this nice graphical representation of each severity, and you can use the search function as well. And also we have last 300 traps, and this is also without any filtration. So you can actually view all of the trap messages here and use the search function as well. So as you can see here, we have last 300 traps, the same widget as for the node details. However, here it is filtered using only this interface. So this is the important part. We only see that interface. And the same will be true for last 300 syslog messages. However, we don't have any here. Let me show you a second example. Here we have a different node and a bit different statistics. For example, we don't have traps for link down up. However, we have quite few syslog messages regarding interfaces, for example, VLAN flapping and so on. So what we can do is, for example, choose one of those interfaces, for example, interface 13, as you can see here. And we can see that we have a correlation between node and interface with syslog messages. So here you can see it is on Gigabit 13. However, the way how it is configured, the widget will also see the same information for Gigabit 19. So when we go to the 19, you can see that we have the same syslog messages. And we can also check 24 because we had some issues for this interface. And for last 300 syslog messages, we can see link up down. So this interface was actually having some problems today. So how those widgets are being built? So let me show you one of them. For example, last 300 syslog messages. You can see here that we have a custom SWQL query. And this query is quite nice because you can simply copy paste that and use it however you like. So if you want to take a deep dive for this topic, I will have a separate video for queries. However, you can modify them using Orion Studio. So SWQL Studio is available on the GitHub for Orion SDK. I will have the link in the description. And here you can check all of those queries, how exactly are being created and what is the output of those queries. So if you want to create such widgets, then you need to go to node details or interface details. Click here on customize page, add widgets, and you need to find custom query widgets. Drag and drop. And from here, you just click edit and copy paste the query that I will include in the description. So you can actually have the same view, or you can modify it to your liking. And what is important here to mention is that I have a failsafe here to show no more than 700 letters or characters. So this is like a failsafe for any kind of very long syslog or trap messages. However, you can remove it or simply do like like this. So quite a lot of nines. So whichever approach you prefer. And for a bit more complicated widgets, for example, here you have last 300 trap messages linked down and up, and we have a correlation with the interfaces. So here you can go copy paste just to see how it looks. And this one is quite more complicated. So it has substring and indexes, so it's a bit more complicated, but like I said, this will be a separate video how to handle strings and how you can search for the right output. So I hope that those widgets will help you. So you can find them in the link description, and you can simply add them using custom query. Apart from the user links, if you want to have hyperlinks for logviewer, then you need to add user links widget. And I can show you how it looks. So here we have dynamic hyperlinks. So you can see here we have a dynamic value NodeID, which is being injected to the hyperlink for logviewer. And the hyperlink will be the same regardless if you have a logviewer or log analyzer modules. They are compatible. So it should work either way. And as for the hyperlinks, you can see here that we also are able to include the time period. So you have last hour, last 24 hours, and last 7 days. If you have a log analyzer module, you will also have this button here, analyze logs. However, if you click on it, you will see that you only have last hour. And even if you change it, for example, last 12 hours, and go back, and let's click on it again, you can see it's last hour again. So it's not saving your settings. So in order to have a higher, a longer time period, then you simply need to use user links. And those user links will also be included in the description. So you can build the same widgets. So thanks a lot for listening, and see you next time.